Previously on Blogz.
And to get into Blogz, classic sports chirps of all time, is there one that reigns supreme above the others? Somebody who was somewhere today where there's not a lot of sledging or chirping going on, really, generally, is Ben Karpinski from Follow the Bounce, from Team Darren yesterday. Hello, Bounce.
Hi, guys. I'm still smarting from the lot.
Yeah. How many points did you get, by the way, individually?
I got 33. It really should have been 42, but what can you do?
All right, well, yeah, one or two. I don't think you cost us. I think it was myself and Neil Collins, but anyway. Yeah.
What did we finish on, anyway?
What did who? We did. Our team.
No, Collins.
28 points eventually after he realized he was only a...
24.
24 points when they had to reduce his score because he wasn't allowed to play off 24. Yes. So there is a lot. But I must admit, Neil was a late entry as far as our team goes because another Neil Andrews, and another Terry Payne, still haven't heard from them.
Yeah, they were supposed to be there.
They were on the starters list, everything. They were confirmed. Rob Dalton said no, they're in a four-ball together. Thought, awesome. Neil Andrews makes sense to play in our team, Team Darren, and Terry Payne in Team Corrie. And... then we heard that they went to Silver Lakes. So the two other oaks they were supposed to play with arrived from Silver Lakes after doing that trip in 10 minutes. We said, where's Neil? Neil and Terry right behind you. No, I haven't seen them at all.
And you've heard nothing.
And they didn't even phone the other two guys to tell them where they were, what their story was.
No, that's poor form.
I think it's shocking. I think it's really shocking. Terrible. So, anyway. Otherwise, Bounce, you're doing good?
Yeah, I had a great day out of Serengeti. I went to go watch the SA Open. Just before the McNally. Yeah, really cool. I got Charles.
So you got Charles Schwartzel to do what?
I was watching Charles Schwartzel's wife correcting his putting stroke for the putting group.
Okay, that sounds quite interesting.
Caressing or correcting?
I think what started as caressing ended as correcting.
Oh, okay.
All right. And a good turnout there today. I believe the course is really, really tough.
Yeah, the course is tough. It's very, very pretty. It's a bit quiet today, but I think it'll definitely pick up as the weekend progresses.
All right, cool. And on Skype, we've got you. I don't know if you heard much of what Ben was saying because I didn't have one of the buttons pushed in. You should have got him over the last couple of lines. And that is Sport Billy. How's it going, Billy?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, man. Are you guys all in top nick today after your big day?
Yeah, we're a little bit sort of, that...
Yeah, I was a bit flat. Yeah.
A little bit
I'm
flat.
Putting
sure,
it politely.
Sure. Sounds like a goodie there.
Yeah, it was a really, really a good year. It was a great evening. Everyone had a great time. So, yeah, top stuff. All right, so, listen, has anyone heard or found out what... Because we've noticed that Tank, not only has he not been in communication this week, but he hasn't been doing much on Twitter either.
Yeah, he just tried to phone me, actually.
Oh,
so
is
he
it?
is alive.
Okay.
Oh, that's good to know.
Last I heard, he was on another radio station last night with Matthew Proudfoot, and they were talking scrumming, so I think things might have headed south from there.
Okay. Which, another radio station, he doesn't, not Two Oceans Vibe or us, but one of the FM stations.
No, he must have been on his show.
Yeah, Tank Lanning FM.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Ben?
Are you talking about Tank Lanning, front row grunt, or Tank Man Media, or Tank on a peddler?
Yeah. Anyway, Tank has got some kind of meeting at 5:30, so he at work, so he's not going to be joining us today. So and Simply Sean is on business away, so he's not available today as well. So it's just us boys, Sport Billy and Bounce today on the blogs. And we're talking classic sports chirps of all time. Who's your new avatar, by the way, Billy?
I'm actually just trying to remember. Who have I got?
Ali Williams.
Can you not recognize him?
It's very small, so I can't see some of his mouth wide open. Is it Ali Williams?
Yeah, it's Big Ali, yeah?
Okay, cool. I'm not going to open it wider. Why? Explain.
Don't get it too big.
That's got to be your worst avatar ever.
Why have you gone with Ali Williams? There's normally a story behind it.
Sheepers, I can tell you one thing. It's not hard to find an image on Ali on Google Images. He's always the man closest to the camera. Have you ever noticed that? Every time there's a haka, he's the guy next to the camera.
Yeah. Well, I think he's got the longest tongue out of everyone that does it. with Piri Weepy. Yeah.
Oh, that's what she said, huh?
Yeah. All right. By the way, Bounce was. Did Gary play fire the first shot today?
He didn't actually. No, it was the premier of Ukuruleni government today at 6 o'clock.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
Yeah, but I have heard that Gary is going to play his honorary starter for the Nedbank Challenge, so you can't be everywhere, you know.
Oh, okay.
77.
Okay, is it the Nedbank? I thought it was going to be the SA Open. All right.
But they say it's one of his last chances to outdrive Tom Watson.
Yeah.
All right.
It is, and he'll do it.
Classic sports chirps is what we're talking today. So, Billy, you've obviously been sort of getting the topic going on Twitter. A few people have posted some things up on our Twitter page. What have you been served up?
Cheapers. Yeah, no, there's been a couple of goodies. I see one that's just come in here that about David Seaman.
Yeah.
After the 2002 World Cup defeat. And the chirp was if David Seaman's dad had worn a condom, we'd still be in the World Cup. Quite a good one to kick off on, but that was from old Tyron Barnard.
Was that when, what's his name? He's a Brazilian guy, looked like a pug with a long curly hair.
A couple of them.
Not true, actually. Who's the guy that lobbed him?
Lobbed Seaman.
Yeah. What a Jai, not Jairzinho, what's his name? Something Inyo. The big Ronaldinho. When Ronaldinho lobbed him from just inside the halfway line. Headline the next day. Ronaldinho lobs Seaman from halfway line. What a man. Yeah.
Yeah, there were some beauties. What I was astounded at, I did a bit of research on it, is that, yes, I mean, cricket dominates.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really does.
All the best chips seem to come off the cricket pitch. I don't know if the rugby guys just aren't that sharp, or if they don't talk about what happens on the pitch, but most of the ones out there on the web are certainly the cricketing ones.
Yeah, cricket was made for sledging. It really was. You get all that time in between action, it's for sledging.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the proximity of players, although rugby is very close, it doesn't stay that way for a long time. So in cricket, you get a chance to build a relationship with a batsman that's with you. And the longer they're there, the more you want to try and actually talk them out of the game anyway. So your wicketkeeper is ideally placed to have a go. Someone actually just tweeted now, search for a video on YouTube of Mark Boucher chirping Titenda Taibu.
It's a classic, that one.
All right, we'll see if we can find that one. Also, Sangakkara chirping Polly at the 03 World Cup. Does anyone know about that one?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah. It was about counting, about being the host and getting knocked out.
All right.
Yeah, surprisingly, nothing to do with his hair color.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Billy, what else have you got?
Sheepers, I've got a whole rack here, but the one...
Just careful, Bounce will end up putting those on his blog.
Hang on a second, but Billy, seeing as you started off by lobbing Seaman from halfway, I just got one thing about a fellow Arsenal man from that genre. There was this comedian. Okay, this isn't technically a sports chirp, but it's around a sports person. There was a guy called Dennis Pennis. He was around before Ali G became really famous. And what this guy would do is he would go to big celebrity events and he would just hurl abuse at people from like 3 rows in. So Tony Adams had a bit of a history of hitting the sauce a little bit too hard. So in front of everybody, everyone was going, "Oh, well done, Tony, great game." This guy shouts out, "Tony, you would have been a much better player if you didn't always hit the bar." So from there, Tony's just straight face, because he literally just come out of alcohol rehab as well, and so he caused such a stir with that chirp.
No, we got it. Just thought we'd let you crash and burn for a bit there, because we're in that kind of mood today.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than the awkward silence after the bomb chirp, eh, Bounce? Huh?
Simon, you would know nothing about that either, would you?
I never have awkward silences. My chirps and my jokes, all legendary.
Fair enough. Shows how much I know about football. Go on.
Tyron Barnard just tweeted, Muhammad Ali, I've seen George Foreman shadow boxing, the shadow won.
Yeah, I mean, Ali was the master of trash talk before a match or afterwards. There was that other one where he was going to fight a guy called Floyd Patterson. He wasn't so sharp, from what I hear. And he said, "I'm going to beat him so bad, he's going to need a shoehorn to get his hat on." But he had some pearlers.
Yeah. All right, I'm just going to Twitter to see what some of the people have. Now, what is the Kwesi Fenter one? I do remember that. I don't know if anyone knows that. You know the Free State, the rather tubby Free State cricketer?
Yeah, he was a bit of a tuck box headache.
Yeah, there was a
I'm
class.
sure it had something to do with cookies as well, because there's always many cookie chips about the fat kids.
Yeah, it
No,
was.
the Kusi one was they were trying to, like, Kusi was sort of being a bit of a barnacle there, and they were trying to warn he was bowling, and the guards were trying to get him out of his crease, you know, get him to come out and try and stump him or something. And I don't know, one of the guys replied, it was either Boone or Healy or one of these guys said, no, the only way we're going to get this guy out of his crease is to put a Mars bar on a good length.
That's the one. That's the one. And the one that Simon was confusing that one with was Edo Brandes, the chicken farmer from Zimbabwe, right?
Mm.
Yeah, beautiful creature.
Yeah, where he turned to Steve Waugh or something. Like Steve Waugh was obviously playing him quite easy and calling him fat, and you're too fat to bowl and something. It's like something to do every time I shag your mother, she gives me a biscuit. That's why I'm so fat. Except not in as many words though.
Yeah.
A couple of choice words added in there.
Yeah, which has also obviously been adapted to a few other guys. What else have you got there, Billy?
Quite a good one as well. It involves old Hansie Cronje. And I mean, Merv Hughes features in a lot of these. And Merv was bowling to him, and it was in that one game where Hansie was hitting everything out the park. And Merv's just been hit for like 3 or 4 fours in the over and a couple of sixes, and he walks down and he lets off a massive fight right next to Hansie. And he just looks at him and he says, hit that for 6.
Awesome.
But Merv was a master of the chirp. Huh?
Merv was involved in one with Salim Malik. I don't know if you've ever heard that one where Malik was batting. I think it was Malik, one of the Pakistani batsmen, and Merv was bowling. And he the one particular over he was actually playing Merv quite easily, and like Merv obviously used to run down the track straight after he bowled the ball, even if he'd been hit for 4. And every time he came down the track, this guy would say to him, "You're nothing but a bus conductor. You're nothing but a bus conductor." And every time he bowled, Merv came closer and closer. And go away, go and bowl again. You're nothing but a bus conductor. And eventually Merv got him on the 5th ball of the over. And as he got him, he just kept running straight towards him, straight past him. As he ran past him, he said, "Tickets, please."
Yeah, he might have added a couple other words in there, sorry, with F being Merv.
Definitely. One that came in here from Tala Msutu. Where's it now? It's a Bucky's Boerta chirp as well. So here's a rugby one, which I have heard about. It's oh, geez, now I've lost the damn tweet. What did I go and do that for? Let me just have a look.
I got a good one, yeah?
Yeah?
It's Mark Waugh and James Ormond. Have you heard that one? It was in 2001.
Yeah.
It was that 5th Ashes test at the Oval. And he came out to the crease, and Mark Waugh had a go at him, and he said, because nobody really knew who James Ormond was. He says, "Look who it is." He says, "Mate, what are you doing out here? There's no way you're good enough to play for England." And obviously, Ormond, without missing a beat, casually turns to Mark Waugh and says, "Maybe not, but at least I'm the best player in my family."
That is
Classic.
one of the favourite ones of all time. There was also a Darryl Cullen and Shane Warne one when obviously that whole battle had sort of been raging. And after a long break between tours, those 4 years between tours, what used to happen is as soon as Darryl Cullen walked out to bat, Shane Warne would walk next to him, kind of warming up already, knowing that he's going to bowl the next over and knock him over. And obviously there was a bit of conversation as they were walking out onto the middle, and Shane Warne said something to Darryl about I see you haven't you spent the last 4 years.
I've got the sledge right here.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
I had it right
Well,
here.
that's Simon.
Thank you.
I've also got it. You need it.
Okay, let Ben.
As
share.
Cullinan was on his way to the wicket, Warne told him that he'd been waiting 2 years for another chance to humiliate the South African, and then Cullinan replied, "Well, looks like you've spent it eating."
Yeah, you spend that time eating.
But
Yeah.
I saw a good one with old Steve Waugh, talking about the Waugh brothers. But apparently in a Sheffield Shield match, Steve Waugh was taking his time, like to face up, getting his mark and looking around at field settings and all these guys. And one of the guys playing for Tasmania or something says to him, for F's sakes, mate, it's not a effing test match. And so Waugh looks at him and says, of course it's not you here.
I found yeah.
No, I'm just like, some of these are such good put downs. And
they're brilliant. They're spontaneous as well, which is also amazing. The guys come back with that immediately. Talam Sutu's one, which is also a spontaneous moment. And I picture the scene. I think this is in the Lions on that Lions tour over here with Bucky Sporter.
And that's Phillips guy.
Mike Phillips. So do you remember that one, Ben?
Yeah.
Where obviously they sort of got to grips with each other, and Mike Phillips had made a comment about Bucky's and something about the fact that he must be on steroids. And Bucky's just looked him straight in the eye and said, "You've got beautiful blue eyes." True story.
I saw Bucky's actually tweeting Mike Phillips the other day before one of the games and saying that it was before Wales played Argentina, and he said, "You better have a look at the Argentinian lock's eyes because they're also beautiful," or something like that.
Ben, you want to throw any in the pot there?
Yeah, something that, we all know about those other great sledges, but sometimes in sports you get these great little sort of tidbits that come up. One of them was, it was after one of the Ashes things, and I think Strauss was doing an Ashes trophy tour, and it was on Sky Sports, and there was a male-female sort of co-anchors, and this guy's going on about the Ashes and how fantastic it is, and then he sort of stops and goes, "It's amazing that something so small can get so much attention." And the chick just coldly looks at him and goes, "Well, you should know all about that, Brian, shouldn't you?"
What about that Glenn McGrath, Ramnaresh, Sawan? Didn't they have a bit of argy-bargy?
I think it's just a lot of FU and get stuffed and all that.
Glenn McGrath said something about...
but that was when his wife was having that.
Someone
actually said something about it.
Yeah, because McGrath said, "What does Brian Lara's dick taste like?"
That's right, yes.
And someone replied, "I don't know, ask your wife."
That's right. Yeah, that's where
McGrath lost it.
That sent old pigeon over the edge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ben?
Absolutely fair game. McGrath took umbrage towards that, but I mean, if you're going to throw it out there, you've got to take it back. This is the beauty of the sledge; it has to go both ways.
Yeah, and you probably find someone just said it like as in a spontaneous knee-jerk thing. Ask your wife, not even thinking that his wife was suffering from. But geez, it did make him go tilt. On the subject of really, really bad, the worst one that I've ever heard about, and this has been confirmed that it actually did happen. It was Chris Cairns. Remember Chris Cairns in New Zealand?
Yes, yeah.
Have you heard the story?
Something about trains, I think, but carry on.
He lost a girlfriend that he was going out with quite a long time in a train accident somewhere in New Zealand, and he actually took some time off cricket at the time because it was like such a shock to him. And the next time he actually played, when he got back into the internationals, they were playing an ODI against Australia. True story. And when he walked out to bat, the oaks on the field, the fielders were all like going choo 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 choo.
No, but that's
tilt.
That's disgusting.
That is absolutely
typical
disgraceful.
shackle draggers.
Absolutely shackle draggers. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the Aussies are a different level. I think the only guy that has hit them where it hurts is old Mike Atherton. Apparently, and no, Athers of all people. I mean, I wouldn't have expected it from him, but apparently. He stood his ground after edging and getting caught behind by Healy the one time. And, he clear neck, the on-field umpire missed it. And Athers stands his ground, and Healy growls at him, "You're a effing cheat." So Atherton quietly responds, "When in Rome, dear boy, when in Rome."
Yeah.
I must hear that. That's brilliant.
But classic. I mean, you can't come back from that.
Yeah. Another one from the shocking file was after Mackay and Tini. He had that issue around the whole rape charge and stuff back in the day, a long time ago down there. And having got into the South African setup, he was put under the wing of none other than Pat Simcox.
Logical choice.
Yeah, I mean, why anyone would think of anybody else but Pat Simcox to sort of mentor you in the South African side? But obviously things had got a little bit tetchy at times between them, and there'd been kind of a rift or something, or a bit of a personality clash, as can happen with someone now and again. but when he came back from that whole incident, that whole issue, they were playing down in Border, and Simo was batting in a particular game. I think Mackay was actually waiting for Simo to come out. So Simo kind of knew that he was going to get a few around the nose in that game, and picked one. And Mackay bowled it, and he'd obviously had a bit to say to Simo as well, the first few balls, and then actually picked one of the short ones, the bouncers, and he was already on the back foot, and smacked it straight into the dressing rooms in the Border Cricket Stadium. And so I turned to Mackay and says, well, apparently you know where the toilets are. I think it's in there. Go and find it.
Woo!
Ouch.
Ow!
Ouch.
Yowza.
Yes.
Jeepers.
Ben?
That's pretty harsh. A friend of mine, true story, and I do trust this individual. He actually had a meeting, a business meeting with Div the other day. This was about 2 weeks ago. And I don't know if it was a result of the meeting not going so well, but basically Div was telling some rugby stories towards the latter stages of it. And he said one of the original sort of Springboks training sessions that he was involved in, they were doing these things, and he was telling the tight forwards to do this, and that. And Bucky's turned around to Div and said, you know, you're so small, I can put you in my pocket. So then Div says to him, well then, you'll have more brains in your pocket than you do in your head. Which is pretty sharp, man.
Brilliant.
That's quite something to come back with.
Sharp, but also very bravely stupid.
Ballsy.
Jeez, like I wouldn't come back with anything if Bucky's Board had chirped me. There's one of the classic ones. Someone tweeted, Jana, it's further down the list, but also going back to cricket, it's also it's one of those you just got to picture it, whether it's the old legendary West Indians. I think it might have been either Holding or Malcolm Marshall, one of them, who was bowling to David Gower, and Gower was playing him far too easily for his liking. So eventually he ran down the track after bowling one and said, now David, am I going to have to bowl around? Are you going to let me get you out? Or I'm going to have to come around the wicket and kill you.
I think that was Marshall. I think.
It was Marshall, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Holding to boycott, actually.
Was it Holding to boycott? Okay.
Because Jeffrey was being his belligerent self, scoring 2 of 70.
Yeah, all right. There we go. Yes, Simon?
I found one with, again, with Merv Hughes and with Viv Richards. And during a test match in the West Indies, and Hughes didn't say a word to Viv, but apparently continued to stare at him after deliveries. And Richard said to Hughes, "This is my island, my culture. Don't you be staring at me. In my culture, we just bowl." Merv didn't reply, but after he dismissed him and announced to the batsman, he said, "In my culture, we just say fuck off."
In my culture, we just say fuck off.
Merv,
Yeah, he's all over the place.
These,
if you Google best
quotes, there's that one of him saying to Graham Gooch, "Would you like me to bowl you a piano and see if you can play that?"
Yeah.
And then I saw one, the same sort of thing with old Lance Klusener, apparently, to one of the, was it Jeff Allett or Glenn Allett, one of the Kiwi batsmen, and the guy missed, played and missed like 3 or 4 times, and old Lance said to him, "What's the problem? Have you got that bat out on APRO or something?"
Oh, brilliant. All right.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, no, and the other one, old Dennis Lilly, and apparently used this one numerous times, but he would, when the guys were playing really badly, whoever he was bowling to, which I'm sure with Lilly happened fairly often, he would say, "I know why you're batting so badly, because you got some shit on the end of your bat." And the guy would look at the end of his bat and he'd say, "No mate, wrong end."
It's like Ricky Roberts' sticky 7-iron that he was giving to Ernie. Yes,
Nice.
Yes. All right. What are ballers? Dustin's just awake in the United States. All right. I think let's look at the time already. It's marching on. So I don't know if you guys have used up your best. I've kind of kept my best to last. So I don't know if Ben, you've got your best of all time.
God, it was more time and place, and I think, and I was batting in one of them. So I don't know if I should. The quality's already been quite high, and I'm not looking to stare another awkward silence in the face.
I have got the cricket sound effects standing by if you do need them this time. So I don't normally have it waiting for you, but I have got it ready now. So
no, I think we've had a good sort of a good account on this topic for now.
yeah.
I have nothing else to add. Just going to raise the bar.
Billy.
Yeah, I think maybe the best ones are probably out there already, but I've got one or two decent ones still. I think. the one is old Fred Truman, the English fast bowler, to one of his own fielders. He had just missed a catch, and it had supposedly gone between his legs and run for 4. And this guy ran up to Truman at the end of the over and said, "Sorry, Fred, I should have kept my legs together." But Truman said, "No, son, your mother should have."
classic Chirp. Speaking of which, I mean, Ian Botham must have had plenty. But the favourite story is still when he walked out into the MCG and was stopped halfway down, having forgotten his bat in the change room in front of 90,000 people because he was hungover because he'd been out late, and this was confirmed by Alan Lamb to us. Been out late one night until whatever, so they moved him down the order as well, and England was struggling at about 60 for 5. Walked out to bat. Alan Lamb met him halfway, and there's Botham stopped halfway to the crease, and he's looking around in the stand, and Lamb gets in. He's like, "What are you doing?" Botham, and he said, Botham's first thing to him was, "Have you seen all the pussy around here?" And then proceeded to start giving the Australian salute, which was the convict hand signal around to the whole stadium while they were booing him, before Lamb reminded him that he might have forgotten to bring a bat. And then they went on to proceed to win the game, the two of them. Beautiful. My two favourite, one of them was from a couple of World Cups ago. Last time I think China played in the World Cup. And this was a commentary one, but it was brilliantly timed. I don't know if it had been used before, but it came out spontaneously where I think China got 8-0 from one of the teams in the game. It was about two or three World Cups ago. They'd been given 8-0, and one of the goals, I think it was like the 5th or 6th goal, was scored from a curling free kick that went like over the wall, not around it, but over the wall, straight into the top right-hand corner. And the one commentator was like criticizing China's tactics and their defensive tactics at a free kick, and the other guy said, "Yeah, you'd think the Chinese would be able to build a better wall than that." And then the best one of all was also a commentary chirp with the late David Hooks. He was commentating with Michael Holding. I love this story, and it's a true story as well, where Brian Lara had named his daughter's name Sydney, because she was conceived in Sydney on the tour where Brian Lara had actually scored a double century. So it was a commentary stint where once again Lara was batting. I think he was on his way to another double against the Australians, and they started telling the story about his daughter Sydney, and the last time he got a double 100 in Australia was in Sydney, and that's when his daughter was conceived, and that's why she was called Sydney. And at which point there was like this 5-second pause before Michael Holding popped up and said, "Just as well they weren't playing in Lahore." That is my favourite of all time. All right. Anything else to add, boys, before we wrap it up?
Nothing. That's great.
Billy?
No, it's just one more, but it's more of a psych art, because it actually worked. Was from the NBA with old Scottie Pippen and Karl Malone. Karl Malone, the guys used to call him the mailman.
Yeah.
And so it's like 9 seconds on the clock, and Utah Jazz has got, the old Malone's got two free throws to go, and it's I don't know what it was, but apparently it was a Sunday game, and old Scottie Pippen walks up to him before he takes a throw and says, "Just remember, Carl, the mailman doesn't deliver on a Sunday." and he goes on to miss both the free throws, and they lose the game.
Oh, brilliant. All right. Simon, you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. I think we had quite a few there. Thanks, Sibusiso as well. Added another one. He said Graham Smith after a Glenn McGrath chirp, which is also true. I've heard of this one. Graham Smith said to Glenn McGrath, "Are you this grumpy all the time, or are you just having your period?"
Can you imagine Graham Smith saying something like that?
And I don't see any others. We'll maybe try and find one or two of those YouTube ones people have mentioned. But thanks a lot, boys.
Yeah, great, guys.
For joining us.
I just want to ask.
Yes.
I just want to ask quickly. Sport Billy's apparently having a braai with the bros this weekend.
With the bros?
Yeah.
No, he asked me to come over, but I had to turn him down.
Well, Billy, you do realize that he lives in Serengeti where their serve is being played. So how is that going to happen?
No. Well, that was the plan, was to go and watch some golf and head over to the Brazos spot. But unfortunately, I've got a wedding on this weekend. So
High profile, hey guys. I mean, we always talk about Tank hitting the next level, but I mean, Billy's being invited by the bros to come over.
Jeez, no, I mean, you bloggers are sort of like moving beyond our standards. Don't you? But aren't you in Neisner?
Yeah, no, I'm all the way down here, and I've got to go to the Eastern Cape for a wedding, so I'm out.
It's a hell of a way to travel just for a braai with the bros.
No, but it is the bros, though.
Yeah, it is the bros.
When the bros says over, you come over.
You come over. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot, Ben. Appreciate it, buddy. Enjoy the at Serengeti every day, for the rest of the tournament.
No, I'm not actually. I've got some things on. I've got to MC something at the 94.7 on Sunday, so that's where I'll be seeing you guys next.
What's going on here?
Times, huh?
I mean,
I'll be shouting abuse at you, Oaks, with a microphone from the side of the road, 5Ks from the finish.
well, with your connections, could you possibly, so you can have the opportunity to do that, could you possibly maybe organise some bikes for our Oaks?
Still not.
Nothing.
3 days before, no bikes.
It's going to be easy for you because I'm going to be the only oak running.
So
You don't get bikes on Appro. Hey?
No,
No, sorry.
you don't.
All right. Well, look, enjoy. By the way, how did little Brandon Stone do today? Did you see?
I didn't see, no. I spent most of the time at the hospitality area, I've got to be honest.
All right, so you know exactly what beers I got available. Thanks a lot, Ben. Thanks a lot for yesterday as well. Thanks for being there.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a really great day. I really, really enjoyed it.
Cool, buddy. We'll chat you next week. Cheers, man.
Alrighty, cheers,
All
guys.
right, there we go. That is Ben Koplinski. Yesterday I had to warn every single one of our beautiful ladies that was there just to beware.
Yeah, he's very charming.
He can charm you onto his blog
I
like
found
that.
myself liking him,
Yeah.
and I'm straight.
Are you going to show your breasts on his blog, Simon?
Yeah, I mean, the price is right.
His pecs. Billy, thanks a lot, bud. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll chat to you next week.
Cool, guys. Yeah, have a good one, and well done for yesterday.
Thanks, man.
Cheers,
And
Billy.
topic-wise, we'll put out dispatches during the course of the next few days. Okay, throw up a few options.
Perfect.
Thanks, bud. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
There we go, Sport Billy. Nice blogs again today. Quite a few chirps coming through from your best sporting chirps of all time.
Yeah, it's amazing. You Google best sporting chirps, and it's 95% cricket.
Cricket,
It's
yeah.
just all cricket.
Shows cricketers have brains. They can think on their
Like well, also you've got time to think about a chirp while you're on the field for the whole day.
Yeah.
This is Balls Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate, and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. Balls.co.za